Hi, I'm Andrea Nebhut, a PhD student at Purdue University's Forestry and Natural Resources Department. Here in Indiana, climate models and historical weather trends indicate that as climate change progresses, extreme weather events such as droughts will become more frequent. In order to understand the effects of these droughts on Indiana's hardwood forests, Dr. Andrea Nebhut built rainfall exclusion pods at Purdue University's Martell forest. The design is simple. By constructing plastic troughs to catch a portion of rainfall and carry it out of the study area before it reaches the ground, we can alter the quantity of rainfall that the trees can access, then compare the trees in the control, moderate, and severe drought plots to each other. Out of the many ongoing studies being conducted at this site, I am investigating how droughts alter leaf chemistry and thus the cycling of carbon through Indiana's hardwood forests. Throughout the growing season, trees undergo photosynthesis to transform atmospheric carbon dioxide into sugars and starches, which are incorporated into structures such as leaves. In the autumn, trees shed their leaves, and the carbon contained within them is either stored in the soil or released back into the atmosphere through decomposition. The relative portions of carbon that follow these two paths depends partially on the chemical composition of these leaves. During droughts, trees often produce leaves that are low in nutrients, such as nitrogen, but high in lignin, a structural component of plant cell walls. This composition protects the trees from further stress, but may slow decomposition by making the leaves difficult for microbes and insects to digest, and therefore would increase the portion of carbon stored in the soil. However, drought-induced changes in leaf chemistry will only affect forest carbon cycling if they're maintained to the point when the trees release their leaves to the forest floor in the autumn. Despite the importance of leaf decomposition rates to global carbon cycling, the fine-scale differences in the composition of newly fallen leaves remains poorly understood. In order to address this knowledge gap, I collected fallen leaves from each of Dr. Pardell's plots and, going forward, will analyze the molecular composition to understand how relative proportions of leaf nitrogen, carbon, and lignin vary between trees experiencing different levels of drought stress. This will allow us to make predictions about how drought will impact carbon cycling throughout Indiana's hardwood forests as climate change progresses. While my analysis of this data is ongoing, my preliminary results indicate that drought has species-specific impacts on the leaves' chemical composition, which may mean that drought impacts on forest carbon cycling as a whole will depend heavily upon stand composition.